Ahoy and welcome. My name is Clemens Helm and this is Codeship Testing Tuesday number 13. Last week we had a special episode on the Euro Code 2013 in Athens. But 2 weeks ago we talked about mocking with Bogus. Today I show you even more amazing features that Bogus has to offer. Fortunately, Mr. James Bond granted us one more episode with him. We've got this application where James Bond wants to know if he has gathered everything he needs for a mission in meetings. We wrote an example to prove that the mission is ready to go after a meeting with M and Q. We've also seen how Bogus verifies that stub methods exist. We faked a meeting class with an outcome method. When we rename outcome to result, Bogus complains that no method outcome exists. But Bogus can do even more. When you stub a method with certain arguments and return values, it can make sure that these values are real examples of how the method behaves. To achieve this, Bogus will remind you to test your methods with the specified parameters. This feature is called contract testing. Our mocks define a contract that the mocked component should fulfill. We can instruct Bogus explicitly to verify this contract. Let's try this for our meetings. We create a meeting spec RB. Let it require the spec helper and describe the meeting and put verify contract meeting on top. When we run rspec now, we get an exception. Bogus complains about two missed interactions, calling the method outcome and getting either an array with top secret briefing or with SMRtin laser Rolex. To fix these problems, we need to write examples for this method that return exactly these values. So for the first case, we need an example where it has a top secret briefing as outcome when meeting with M. So we've got a meeting, that's a meeting new with M, and then the meeting outcome should be the top secret briefing. Let's run rspec again. It fails and it tells us wrong number of arguments. This is because our constructor of meeting so far doesn't accept any arguments. Let's fix that. We make an initialize method that accepts a with argument. And when we run rspec now, it tells us that it got nil, but it expected the top secret briefing. But we can just fix this by letting our method return the array with the top secret briefing. So now this example worked, but Bogus still complains about one missed interaction. So we need to add another example for this return values. So it has an Aston Martin and a laser Rolex as outcome when meeting with Q. So we've got a meeting with Q, and then the outcome should be the Aston Martin and the laser Rolex. Let's run this example. It tells us, well, I got the top secret briefing, but I expected Aston Martin and laser Rolex. We can make this work by saving our meeting partner in the initializer, and afterwards we decide based on a meeting partner if it's M, then we should have the top secret briefing as the outcome, and else we want the Aston Martin and the laser Rolex as the outcome. So when we run rspec again, everything works. So this fixes the example as well as Bogus requirements. Bogus required us to implement everything with stubbed without ever running an integration test. So does this mean we don't need integration tests anymore? My opinion is that if you're developing a library, Bogus will fulfill your needs. It will replace integration tests by making sure that the contracts among components are fulfilled. However, Things are different when you're developing a full-stack application. You usually use components that you don't use in your unit tests, like your user interface, an API endpoint, or a database. I personally feel safe if my applications are tested from one end to the other, covering all involved components. But this doesn't mean that Bogus won't be useful in these cases. There might be many special cases that you don't want to write integration tests for, because they're just the same scenarios with different values. If you only unit test these cases, Bogus will make sure that the contracts of these special cases stay fulfilled. Another advantage is speed. Your unit tests are much faster than your integration tests, so you can run them all the time while you're writing code. Bogus makes sure that you don't break the contracts between components without running your integration tests. So I recommend to use Bogus in every situation. It doesn't take more effort than to use RSpec mocks, and it offers a lot of goodies that make your tests safer and you more productive. Next week I will cover a topic that I have left out in previous episodes: how to set up a Ruby application with RSpec and Cucumber. I wish you all a sunny week, and even when you're not at the sea, always stay shipping.